Now, you might be wondering, what am I doing? Why am I starting the video this way? There's a reason we use emoticons when we communicate in writing. It grabs people's attention. It also, whether it's a smile, whether it's a sad face, whether it's a thinking emoticon, it also helps to match what we've written with what we want people to experience. And the same is true when we communicate. We want those emotions to come across, right? We want people to be engaged. And so today, I want to talk in this video about body language, because body language is such an important component, not just of communication in general. And I'll give you 4 different ways you can use body language, particularly your hands, but also as an English as a foreign language speaker, if that's you. There's some studies out there that I'll talk about. So stay with me for this video. I think you're going to find this fascinating. So as I said, we use emoticons in writing. So we want to remember facial expressions. Okay, so facial expressions, the moods that we feel, they need to match what we're saying. Because if I'm saying something serious, but I'm smiling or laughing, it's going to be a little hard for someone to take me seriously. So, probably if you know me well, you know from most of my videos, I tend to be serious when I'm giving you instructions because I want you to know that it is serious, that communication skills will change your life. And so I tend to be serious. I love to throw in smiles because I think I'm a warm person and I want you to feel welcome. So I do my best to smile as well. And I also consider myself to be a very enthusiastic person, a lot of energy. And it's not always easy to communicate that through video. And so what I try to do is add those gestures with my hands. So we have facial expressions, then we've got the hand gestures, because I think that hand gestures also are going to help you to understand what I'm saying and show my enthusiasm. In fact, funny story, I once showed my father one of my videos. He doesn't always see them. And, I was doing things like this with my hands. And he said, wow, you use a lot of hand gestures. And that made me think, yeah, I do use a lot of hand gestures. Let me think about that a little bit more. Because a random gesture is a random gesture. However, aside from facial expressions, if we talk about the hands, we want to try to get specific. We want to get specific with shapes, with directions. We want to get specific with size and emotion, right? I think recently I put my hand on my heart to show an emotion of sincerity. That's a nice gesture. When we talk about a shape, right? If we're talking about the group and we want to kind of give this idea of a circle, we can do something like that. If we are talking about something that's small, we can do something like that. If we say the word little or small, right? We can use our hand to accentuate that it's small. And then you notice I also move my hands over here just to change things up. So you want to be thinking about the face. You definitely want to be thinking about shapes and directions and size and emotions. And you also want to be thinking about posture, because how we show up, which I did an earlier video a couple months ago, it's important to sit well if you're anywhere or stand well, because the posture says a lot about your presence in the room. And that's a part of body language. So we have facial expressions, hand gestures, posture, movement in general. You know, I've seen a lot of people who get nervous or who are not yet skilled at body language, and they might rock, which forward and back or side to side. If they're standing on the stage, they might be walking back and forth on the stage without purpose. Everything we do, whether it's with our hands, our face, or movement on the stage, it has to have a purpose. And so that's where another communication principle that I will talk about later this year, self-awareness, comes in. If you do not have the ability to be self-aware of what you're doing with your hands, how much movement is there? Is there not movement at all? You have to start to be aware. And if you're not, then you're missing out on a really, really important element of effective communication. Because think about it. You know, once we get on a phone call and you can't see me, that element goes away. So if you are in front of somebody, why not use it to the best of your advantage? You know, why not add a facial expression? Why not use a hand gesture? Why not lean forward? All of those things are things you want to learn how to do to be the most effective communicator that you can be. Okay. Now, there are other ways to think about body language, right? But I want to talk to you if you speak English as a foreign language. English as a foreign language. So, there have been studies that show that when we use a gesture, and it can be a simple gesture, but if the hand gesture matches that word little or gigantic, gigantic. What does gigantic mean? Huge, big, large, large, large. If we can get that gesture to match what we're about to say, studies show that we get help retrieving vocabulary from our brains. I know how important that is to you because you may feel like you're not always getting that vocabulary word the way you want. So think about that. If you can add a gesture that is specific, it's going to help your brain help you get the words that you want. That's really, really important, right? So today we talked about an important communication principle in the Diamond Method, and that is body language. That includes the face, the hands, the movement. And there's a lot of specifics within body language that go beyond what we've talked about today. So why don't you stay on the channel, look around for other videos. There may even be a playlist related to body language that you can explore, because I want you to feel confident, but more importantly, I want you to be able to compete in the English speaking workplace. I want you to feel like you belong in the room. And so, not only do I want you to remember to like, share, and subscribe to today's video with notifications, but I also want you to consider looking for the link so you can read my newsletter that comes out every month on LinkedIn. All right, so please find that link and get subscribe to that newsletter as well. You're going to want to do that to get the most you can from me every single month. All right, thank you so much for being here. If today's video was helpful, remember to make your comments and share today's video. And I'll see you next time on the By Jill Diamond YouTube channel. Bye.